Hello and welcome back to Beyond 50. Today we're going to be making a huge change to the front of the house. It's going to add a ton of curb appeal. It's going to be incredibly practical. I'm very excited about it. Let's get into it. One of the things I really like about my property is that there's so many trees around. And it's kind of weird because most of the trees aren't actually on my property. I've got both of my neighbors have a whole bunch of trees that line both sides of my property. And so it's almost like I got the trees without having to do the tree stuff. But one of the downsides to large pine trees, fir trees, all around is they kind of make a mess. And they drop pine needles, they drop pine cones, they put out a bunch of pollen, and they kind of just make a mess out of everything. And if you've seen some of my videos already, a lot of them have been in my front driveway area, around the garage, working on cars and doing various things out here. And it's constantly sort of a little bit of a mess. The gravel is always a little bit messy. It's always got a bunch of pine needles in it. And so we're gonna fix that today. Actually, we're gonna fix it this week. This is a multi-day project, and I'm not actually doing most of this. This is all getting contracted out, but I've got some people coming out here to put in paving. They're gonna pave this entire front driveway area, and I think it's gonna look a lot better. There's a few things that I'm really looking forward to this. One, I'm not gonna have as much trouble getting the pine needles up and the pine cones up. You can just blow them off, and I think it'll be a lot cleaner, because right now if I use a blower, it ends up blowing the gravel around and everything else. I can't just get, hey, let's just clean up the pine needles and the pine cones and the mess that the trees leave. This isn't a problem in the backyard because it's all grass and they fall into the grass and kind of, get sucked up by the lawnmower or whatever. But in the front, it's definitely a problem. The other thing that I'm kind of looking forward to is it just having the gravel out here makes it a little harder to work on things in this front gravel yard area. It's just as nice. If I got to climb down on my back, as I've been working on this Ram 1500, video's coming up on that soon. I'm on the ground a lot, and I'm crawling around on the ground in the gravel. And when I was working on Amy's Pathfinder, and we were changing the alternator on it a few months ago, it's bad enough to be wet, but then to also get muddy and be crawling around in the gravel the whole time, just really makes you not want to get out and do it. And so I think this will just make a lot of these maintenance tasks and projects that I'm doing a lot smoother, a lot easier. And I think it's really going to clean up the look of the front driveway area. So this is all going to look a lot nicer. And so I'm just going to flip the camera around here and we'll do a quick little tour of what it looks like right now. Because the crew was actually out here yesterday and did a bunch of the leveling of the driveway. And it's actually surprising how much of a change they made. All right, so this is a view sort of from the house looking out to the road. You can see the lightning's here, obviously, and all the gravel's been sort of leveled off to some degree. Got this little decorative brick and rock section here. The paving will just all fill in, hopefully. And then there's chain link fence along this side of the property, and then there's a chain link fence on that side of the property that separates those neighbors. And he's got pavement already, but you can see the driveway's all been paved. That blackness, the dark spot in the gravel right there is where they had a hydraulic line blowout yesterday. But so then I've got this covered space right here. This is where I usually park the boat during the winter, and it's where I'll be working on the Ram 1500 soon. Both of this fence here, those are actually two gates. They both open up. I have my water main right here, so there's a little hole there that'll get, I think I'm gonna try and level that up and do something so it's not just a big hole there soon. And then this just goes out to the road, and it's all nice and level now. So before, there was just weird dips and angles, and this is all tilted out this way, so the water will all run off right way. Now here's what I have to do today, real quickly. I've got these two fence posts. These, I had them pull the fence post out, so this will be nice and paved all throughout here, just with little gaps probably under here where this is at. But I'm just gonna cut these two posts. I got a post here and another post here, and I'm just going to cut them off at the base so that when they come back later this week, it'll just get paved right over. These are in the ground pretty good, so I'm not pulling them out by hand. Okay, and we have safety glasses on for safety when running the angle grinder. So all right, let's cut these off. Oh shit, she's full of rocks. Holy shit. It's a little crazy. That is kind of full of, looks like they filled her with concrete. So that was solid post. Good thing I didn't try to cut all the way through it and just trimmed around the edges. So that was me doing just a little bit of work on this, but the real work was done from the guys at Seatac Construction and Paving, and honestly, they did a fantastic job. So this was the first day when they were out on site, and they started doing some of the grading, and actually what the skid steer was doing right there, there was an old concrete platform there. I don't know why it was there. Maybe there'd been a building there before, but it was long gone. So they pulled that out, broke up the concrete, and got rid of that. And then they spent like a good portion of this day really just leveling everything out, getting the driveway leveled and graded so that water will drain off this the correct way. And they were out here for most of a day getting this, just getting the grading done, just getting the leveling done before moving on to the paving. So I'm going to switch now to video from the day when they're actually doing the paving. And I had wanted to be on site for this, and unfortunately I had some things out of town that I had to do, so I couldn't actually record them paving. But my Ring security cam, which is what caught the hydraulic hose blowing up, I just decreased the sensitivity on that, and I grabbed a bunch of the clips off of that, and I've sort of sped them all up so you can kind of see the paving happening at accelerated pace. So, you know, this is a 4-hour video. They had multiple loads of asphalt. You can see multiple trucks if you really pay attention to this clip here. Coming in, and they spent a better part of Saturday out here getting everything paved and looking really good, rolling it out, making the edges look nice. And honestly, I was super happy with the results of this. So they did a great job. The next video I'm going to show after this is me after I get home from being gone for a day and coming in the next day and sort of taking a look, and my thoughts on the results of the paving. We had the entire front parking lot of the property paved. This is where the F-150 Lightning goes. This is where Amy's Honda goes. It's where I park the Jeep. It's where I park the boat. It's where I've been working on the truck. And all of this has been gravel up until now. It's all paved. Everything's off of it for another day or two while it cools and hardens, but it looks fantastic. I just think this looks so much better. I'm so excited about it. I can't wait to, I don't know, work on stuff out here on this and not have to lay down in gravel, not get dirty and filthy. There's other benefits too. Okay, so this is the Tesla charging station that I installed a while ago. I've got a review on, but you can see this is the cord. It's just constantly, before we were paved, it was getting drugged through the gravel, and it wasn't like it's the gravel was muddy, but it was just a little bit dirty. And so, you know, this is what this cable is like. That dirt's just getting tracked everywhere on my feet into the house. This just will, like, I'm gonna have to clean this off now because it's not gonna get dirty anymore. I'm super excited about that. Everything around here is gonna be clean all the time. So we'll just do a quick walk around here. One thing I think looks nice is the way I always had these sort of rocks and brick here. I just cleaned these off about a week ago. They'd been super mossy and covered with moss and gunk, and so I cleaned them off, and they look pretty clean now, but I like the way the paving goes right up to it. I think this is going to be a nice clean area to get it out of the cars, not get mud on our feet. Going to be really nice. The other thing I like, and you see I got a little bit of a crack on this door right here. I got to fix this. There's a little crack open on the bottom of the door here. I got to fix that so it sits in properly all the time. But you know, leaves and dirt and other stuff would always be blowing into the garage from there. I think just having this paved is really going to reduce a lot of that, keep the garage cleaner, tighter, nicer inside. I think the other thing I really like is the way this carport here, where I keep the boat parked. You know, there's now a couple of inches going up here, and it just fits a lot nicer here. I also removed this chain link fence that was right here. So before I couldn't walk through here, you know, it's where those pipes just got cut off. It looks so clean right here now. I'll be able to access things. So as I'm working on the boat in the fall or the winter, I'm cleaning it, doing other things under the carport, just be easier to come in and come out. I think it's going to be really nice. The one thing I still have to figure out what I want to do. Here's my water meter, and it's a bit of a hole here. This was always here, but as things got leveled off, it just sort of accentuated that. It's not really a problem per se, but I am a little bit worried that if some smaller car drove into there, they might bang up the fenders of their car a little bit. So I might need to figure out some sort of steel plate to cover that with, or something that I'm going to do here, because it's just a little bit of a deep hole here. I think most of my trucks, either the truck, even Amy's Honda or the Jeep, not a problem. I'm really worried more about somebody else's vehicle coming in here and bumping into that. But I think it's fine. You know, if somebody had like sort of thing where, I think if somebody had like a Tesla Model Y and they thought it was an SUV and it's really not, and they drove into that, it might damage it. I don't want that. So I might have to try and figure out something to do to sort of cover that out. But right now, I'm just super excited about the way this turned out, the way it looks. It's super clean looking. I just think looking at the house from the outside, it looks so much nicer. It just looks so clean. I just think this is a huge improvement from a practical standpoint of keeping everything clean, from an aesthetic standpoint of everything looking just nicer, cleaner, more tied together. I just think it's a really big improvement. So this is it. Did the whole thing. This took about a week. I mean, look, I didn't do this one. This isn't really a DIY project. This is beyond DIY, but I think it just turned out fantastic. So super excited about this.